Brothers and sisters, in the accounts of the Ascension, Jesus does three main things. The first is he gives and assures his disciples his power, the power from on high to do what he's asking them to do. So he first gives them and assures them power and accompanying signs. The second thing is he gives them a mission. Go out into all the world. And then he promises them the third thing. He promises them a presence, his very presence to strengthen them along the way. If you think about it too, in this modern world, we really do need to know that we have God's power with us. The first one, he assures us of his power. Surely, nothing was outside of the power of him who had died and conquered death. That kind of power. Who does that, right? I mean, who does that? Who does that? Who can conquer death? Now they followed someone whose authority in heaven and on earth is unquestionable at this point because of that power exhibited through his resurrection and ascension. He gave them then a mission. He sent them to make all the world his disciples. We've heard this ad nauseum, but that means everyone, not just certain chunks of Africa and also like, say, part of Europe and maybe some other spots. No, all the world. To conquer the world like that, to win all people's hearts for himself, who died for each of them. That's the news we bring them, of course, too, or kind of like what's the content of the Gospels? Well, Jesus died for you. I mean, we can say that to any one single soul we meet who's wondering about the faith. In the end, it'll be an encounter with Jesus that will make all the difference. It'll be the nexus point. First, he assures us of his power. Second, he gives us this mission to go out through all the world. Then he gives us his very presence. He promises them, I will be with you until the end of the age. It must have been a staggering thing for those 11 humble Galileans to be sent forth on a conquest of the world. Even as they heard it, their hearts must have failed them for a moment too. But no sooner was the command given that the promise followed. The Holy Spirit was to be given them. They had the greatest task in all of history to do this, but they also had the greatest presence in the world with them to help them accomplish it. And then he says, you will be my witnesses. A witness is two things. One, a real witness is someone who says, I know this is true. They have the knowledge of it. I know this is true. Not, I think so. I think so. No. This is much more. It's a personal experience, assimilated and integrated into our own interior life that we know has happened. Jesus is real, not just some fictitious figure of history. I have met him. I have met him in the sacraments, in the word that is spoken to me, that moves my heart and stirs me. That's the Jesus I know. He acts in various ways, appears even in my ordinary life to visit me. And even the souls that we meet that we want more for, we want to bring them closer to Jesus. Maybe they're in a state very far from him. That's also Jesus for us. We are meeting Jesus in that person. He's Christ struggling to be born in them. We can bring that forth by our own charity because, gosh, Christianity, again, is not an I think so thing. It's I know so. And passing on a knowledge to you. A court, any kind of court in this country, if they have a witness, the witness has to be a witness to the truth of the case. And for us too, we have the truth that has been given to us. It's a gift that we bear that's not our own. A real witness then is not just of words though, but of deeds. A witness of a life lived in holiness is an irresistible case. Once we go forward, a witness then is somebody who's ready to lay down everything for that treasure they've found. Loyalty no matter what the cost. To be stubbornly who we are in the world. Stubbornness, usually referred to in the negative. But I say today, when there's so many strange and confusing factors around us today, I mean, it's a confused world, And what's really true? Well, they let me down. They're not who they say they are. They appear to be something they're actually not. But we know Jesus is the one that we can rely upon, and his word and his deeds. And that's where we go. Just like the Ascension, Jesus goes to heaven. We will go to Jesus, and by doing so, we go to heaven, a heavenly place of encounter. And you think about it too. How many souls there are that hunger for Jesus. We all do too. And I would say for our prayer life today, one of the things we can do is ask Jesus to come to us, because we want a real encounter with him. We want to actually experience his voice, his touch, his movements, that he's with us, that he's not fake, that he's very real, very vivid experience. And there are souls hungering. I'll tell you what, this last week, I had some very interesting encounters. Just yesterday, somebody came by my rectory in a very difficult spot. Very difficult. High blood pressure, jacked to the max. And he needed someone to pray with him, basically. Had Catholic faith in his background. So we prayed. We talked through some things, and it made a difference in his life. Hopefully, the momentum will continue. Also, I was at the dry cleaners. I got a lot of things to bring to the dry cleaners. And so I went to the dry cleaners. Got in a conversation with this Lutheran fella. Is interested in Catholicism. I said, well, let me see what I can do for you. Relevant radio, EWTN radio, etc. Throwing things that we'll see, casting those nets out. Maybe we'll get a fish. I don't know where that's going to go, but I tried. And if we even try, even if our efforts seem to come to nothing or seem useless, they're never truly useless, because God sees every single one of them. And he's proud of every little effort of his children, even if it seems like it's not doing any good. He loves it, and he sees it. He sees every little thing. And when no one is looking, when we make a just act, or we resist the temptation that maybe if we go after, nobody will know, well, he knows, of course, always. But when we resist it, he sees that, and he's so proud of those little victories. And this witness factor will grow within us. I was leaving a restaurant then later, and this guy said, "Hey, Father, how you doing?" I'm like, "I'm fine. Hi, how are you?" And at that point, I said, "Well, hi, I'm Father Anthony." Doing a little father-friendly moment. And we had a conversation for about an hour and a half, just wanting to get back into his faith more and more. This was all this week. And if people know us as a believer in Jesus, as truly a Catholic believer, not just a Catholic in name or some sort of cultural thing we've kind of absorbed, this is real and a relationship. And the brightness of our encounter with Jesus will radiate to them, and it will attract them in some way or another. And then we can help them, bring them closer. Souls are more precious than gold or Wi-Fi or any other little treasure we've created in this world. Souls are so much more valuable. And we have this power assured of us. We have a mission given to us. And we have Jesus' presence with us. If he is with us, why should we fear anything? Or any man, or any argument, or fear any sort of case against Christianity? We know who we are. Let us be that for the world's benefit, to bring people closer to Jesus. And may he be praised now and forever.